Little technical issues as these things happen on lives. Me and the incredible Sanji Miller from Compatible Connections are going to be doing a super fun live stream on first date do's and don'ts. Sanji is absolutely amazing. She is a matchmaker based in London in the UK, and she has such fun and insightful stuff to share with you. Hello everyone, welcome, welcome. I'm just gonna try and get Sanji on. For some reason, Instagram is not being my friend today, which is a bit poo-pooey. But I'm just trying to find her so I can invite her to the live. For some reason, she is not showing up. Anyway. Hello to everyone. Hello from London. Hi, amazing. So just bear with me and hang tight. And hopefully Sanji will be with us in a sec. Yeah, so everyone who's watching, I would love for you to share where you are in the world. Hello, Lomama 007. Yay, Compatible Connections is here. Awesome. Oops, so we're gonna get Sanji on. Perfect. Isn't it amazing when it all just flows? So when Sanji joins, we're gonna get cracking. I can hear
Can you see
someone.
me?
I can't see you, but you should pop on in a sec, unless you have your camera off. Yay, there you are.
Yay! Hello, how are
Yes.
you?
Amazing. Welcome, welcome.
Well,
So, yeah, Sanji, for anyone who doesn't know, is a amazing matchmaker based in London in the UK, and she helps all these beautiful women and men, I believe, find love. And she does all kinds of wonderful other stuff too that she will share with us. But
the
for
connection is
today's,
really...
is your connection no good?
Yeah, I can't really hear you. I don't know about if anybody can hear me. Can everybody hear me?
Okay, we're going to do a sound check, everyone. Can everyone
A
hear
sound
me? Can
check.
everyone hear Sanji? This is a real world live
Yeah,
streaming
definitely.
here. It's not always perfect. So if you guys can hear us, just yes. Waza says yeah. Can
Oh,
Sanji, do you want to talk a
wonderful.
bit so
Hi,
people can
Waza.
hear you? Okay, good. Yes, Sanji. Amazing. Okay. So tonight, this evening, this morning, thank you, wherever you are in the world, we're going to be sharing amazing first date do's and don'ts. Because I am Dana, I'm a leading feminine energy dating and relationship coach. I help women find lasting love. This can be whether you're already married and having a bit of a dip with your partner and you're trying to reconnect the relationship, or if you are dating and looking to find someone, or if you're newly single and you have absolutely no idea where to start, I help you find love, and I make it easy and relatable, and I help you tap into your divine vulnerability so you can really share your feelings, so you can weed out all of those men or women that are maybe not quite emotionally in the same place as you. Anyway, over to Sanji. You seem to be freezing up again. Hi, Joe. So nice to have you on
Am I
here.
freezing? Am
Oh
I
no,
freezing
it
up?
was, maybe it
Because
was just for a sec. Is Dana
okay.
crackling?
So
I
flipping,
know.
yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, you're cracking a little bit. So I think you're a little bit better now. So that's good. All right. So I'll
I
say a
just
bit about
disconnected
myself.
my other door. Yes, share who you are and what you do and where you are and all that stuff.
Okay. So I'm based in London because I know that the lovely Dana, you're not over here, are you? So you're in another
I'm
part of the
currently
world.
in Cape Town in South Africa. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're in Cape Town. So I'm based in London. My name's Sonji Miller. I'm a matchmaker. I'm the founder of Compatible Connections. And what I do, I basically create a space where so that other people can join and interjoin with one another. So I have clients who are looking for love. And what I do, I go out and I find partners based on their beliefs and their core values. So I differ from online dating, for instance, whereby people go in, and I'm not going to, name and shame any particular sites, but swiping left and right, and you're just basing things on looks, let's just say. So where I'm coming from, I come from a place where I want to know more about you. I want to know what makes you tick. I want to know what your core values are. And what I do, I then go in and search for people based on that. Dana has been wonderful. She's worked with me for about a year now, haven't you, Dana? In a number of my clients. So great feedback from my clients. So each of my clients that I have, they have access to relationship coaches, which Dana is one of, and also relationship therapists, because I'm a great believer that sometimes people can carry packages or baggage. We don't want to call it baggage, but that basically is from your past relationship, bringing it into the new one. So what I do, I introduce you to therapy, introduce you to coaching, whereby you can unpack those things. So that's what I am. I'm a matchmaker. I also put on singles events, and these singles events allow people. So it's almost like a collaborative space where single people can come and feel very comfortable in knowing that everybody in the room is also single. So therefore, if I speak to them, then everything's going to be okay, So I create these spaces for people to collaboratively be amongst one another, and I create a really fun environment. It's not a rigid environment whereby it's just like, when you do speed dating and you have these rigid questions and you do these rigid things. It's a lot more vibrant, full of fun, full of laughter. Everybody walks away feeling great, and with connections as well. So look out for those events in London. They're called City Connections. And yeah, that's what I do.
Amazing. Well, let's just dive into what everyone's come here for, the first date do's and don'ts. So as a matchmaker and working with your clients and being in such a vibrant city, one of the best cities in the world, I would say, especially if you're single and wanting to mingle. So what's one of your first date do's? Let's start with a do.
Oh, let's start with the do. So I would say,
or we can start with it. We can start with a don't if you prefer. Sorry.
Oh, no. Let's start with a do. It's fine. I would say do come with a positive kind of energy, because I believe that however you arrive is that energy that you come with is the same energy that you're going to get back. So if you come along on a bad vibe to the first date, the partner or the potential partner can pick up on that. So I believe that you need to come to the location with the greatest energy that you have, good energy, feel positive about what you're about to embark on. What do you say about that, Dana?
Yes, definitely, definitely. You have to really be careful of the vibe you give off. And I feel like a lot of people are not they think that they're very aware of the energy that they're giving off. However, when they're in front of a date, especially if they're a bit nervous, maybe they haven't been on the dating scene for that long because they've been married for a long time and all of a sudden they're single, or just because of their demeanor and their character, they might give off a bit of nervous energy. So it's always, that's great advice to just be present, composed, chill, relaxed, vibrant, fun. And that's where dating coaching is very helpful, because if you were my client, I would be holding your hand from a distance and guiding you through and giving you lots of amazing tools and tips and moral support and mindset help. Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I know that, for instance, my clients, when they go on their first dates, I'm there from the get-go, really, because I'm the one that arranges these dates for them. I think you're cracking up there, Dana. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back on. No, I'm just confused with my connection, but I live on the mountain, so I'm just gonna
lucky.
log
You're
off.
Up in the mountains.
Oh no, okay. I'm
That's
just trying to shift different locations. I know, the joys of live stream. So let's move on to a don't, because everyone always thinks they're doing it correctly. And most people are doing an amazing job, but let's share some don'ts, because just to see if we're on the same page of the don'ts.
Do you want me to dive straight in?
Well, I would say, you know, don't go into a date with a random stranger with crazy, outrageous expectations, because that's putting a lot of pressure on yourself and it's putting a lot of pressure on them. So just be open-minded and just be open to the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that leads on to my don't, because my don't is don't expect for a person to foot the bill. And I know that's quite controversial, especially for ladies, you know, when you go on a date, especially if someone asks you on a date. I think that you can expect that if someone asks you out, that they're going to pay for it, right? But I don't think that you should necessarily go with that expectation. I wouldn't anyway. So I would definitely not go with that expectation that someone's going to pay the bill. You never know what's going to happen, especially on the first date. You may not like them. They may not like you. So you have to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, I would say to say, for instance, if you don't have the money or you're not prepared in any kind of way, I would try and make excuses until you have the resources available to you. So I would definitely say don't expect someone to pay the bill. What does everybody think about that?
I mean, I don't agree with that, but it's good to have differing opinions.
That's
Let's go
brilliant.
on to another one.
Exactly.
Another.
So let's hear. So I think it'd be really good, Dana, for you to express why you don't think that that's the right thing. That's good.
Well, no, but that's a whole other conversation for another day, because I'm a feminine energy coach. So what I'm teaching my clients is completely different from the kind of clientele you're working with. So that's a whole different discussion. So we'll rain check that for another time. And if anyone's interested in that, they can message me privately. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is why I also have Dana on around my service, because it is about tapping into that feminine energy from a different perspective. So yes, Dana, you may have a different thought around that, and that's brilliant. That's fine. Okay, so I would say with the do, should we go back to a do?
I can't hear you. You're breaking up now. So let's go on to another don't. Yeah, I don't know. The connection is just not my friend today. So I don't know if it's my side or your side or both sides, or who knows.
From my perspective, it's my side. I don't know if the audience can actually say whose side it is. Who can't you hear and who can you hear?
It doesn't matter. We'll just go on to. So let's move on to another don't before we head on back to the do's.
Okay. Right. So I would say don't speak about what you do. Rather speak about who you are. I think that sometimes we can be caught in a scenario where we're meeting up with a person for the first time. You might feel a bit nervous and you fall upon, questions that people ask you, what are you about? And you fall on heavily on what you do rather than who you actually are. And I think that you have to understand that people are there to find out more about you. When you're on a date, to me, a date is someone collecting data. You're collecting data to find out whether you want to take that next step with that individual. So talking about what you do rather than who you are isn't going to give them enough. I don't know how you feel about that, Dana.
I agree. I do feel like for some people it's quite hard because their identity is so intertwined, enmeshed in their career. So how I coach my clients, because the majority of my clients are women, if they want to talk about what they do, I coach them into sharing how their work makes them feel, as a way to connect to the person that they're on a date with, instead of being very clinical and robotic about describing what they do. Because I mean, you do spend a lot of, if you have an average job, like the normal 9-to-5 job, you spend a lot of your life at work, unfortunately. So it is a big part of your everyday experience. But I wouldn't, suggest to allow that to dominate your conversation. But if it does come up, share how it makes you feel to do what you do.
Absolutely. I think that there is a balance isn't it? There's a balance in everything. So I'm not saying to eradicate completely what you do, because you are what you do, but don't make it dominate the conversation. Okay.
Yeah, exactly,
Should we move
exactly.
over to a
Amazing.
do? So
Yes,
should
I
we
would
move
love to
over
hear
to a
another
do?
do.
Okay.
Yes.
Now this is, I think it's just a normal thing on my part anyway. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I feel like safety is something that's paramount. So
Yeah, yes, definitely.
especially when you're meeting someone for the first time, I would always say that let at least one person know where you're going. At least that one person. And so that's just a simple do. I
Yeah,
can't
and
see
it's
any
it's a very
reactions
valid
from
one.
anyone in the. Hmm. And I think that
Yeah.
sometimes we
No, it's
forget that, don't we? We forget that
yeah.
sometimes,
Mm.
especially because I don't know. You may be going on the fifth date in a week. Not saying that you probably would,
Yeah.
but you might think that my friends are sick and tired of me going out on dates, and I'm always telling them about something, and it never works. It doesn't matter. Always put safety first, and make sure you tell someone where you're going.
Definitely, definitely. And I know everyone knows this already, but as a woman, don't leave your drink unattended, Even if you feel like you know the person.
Absolutely.
If it's a first date, just be a little bit street smart. But I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's a fantastic reminder. Because you just never
Hmm.
know in this wild world that we're in. Um, so should we do another do, or should we go back to a don't?
Sorry, what did you say? Sorry, you're cracking up slightly.
Should we go back to another do, or should we do another don't?
Let's just let's do a do. Let's do another do.
Okay.
So I was thinking
Amazing.
about this one, and it was quite funny, really, because I remember, because obviously you would never be at a place, or I couldn't be at a place where I could advise other people if I haven't been through it myself. And the next one was around being comfortable, making sure that you're being comfortable and you're dressed comfortably. I mean, there's nothing worse than, not being used to wearing heels, and then you put on these huge heels to go out on this date because you want to impress somebody. And then you feel
Yeah.
completely uncomfortable. You're not walking correctly. You're not setting off the right signs. You're nervous because your reaction or your attention is purely on the fact that you can't walk in these heels. So I would say go on your date feeling comfortable, as comfortable as possible, and be in your own
Definitely.
skin.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think everyone agrees. I would say definitely be comfortable. However, I would love to add, and I think we talked about this before when we were planning the live. It's always good to make a bit of an effort, but that doesn't mean you have to make yourself uncomfortable and wear like crazy high heels. But like, put yourself together a little
Absolutely.
bit so that you feel good and you feel like done like invested in yourself a little bit, because you are presenting yourself to someone totally new and you want to feel good about how you look. And so
Hmm.
I do feel like putting yourself together a little bit is quite a nice extra touch, on top of being comfortable. What are your thoughts on that?
On top, yeah, on top of being comfortable, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely,
So
definitely. Yeah.
wonderful. I can see Low Mama said definitely. Brilliant. Okay, so it'd be really good if there's
So
anybody
do
out
you,
there that has any first date stories, or any do's and don'ts that they want to add to the mix as well, because this is a live discussion and we want to have a discussion with
yes.
everybody, especially if you're
Yeah.
listening. Okay, so do
Yeah,
you have
everyone
any do's?
watching, thank you guys for being here. Me,
Yeah,
or
thank you
this is
so
for the
much.
audience?
No, for you, do you have any other do's?
I would say, be appreciative of your partner, like of your date. So even if your first impression is like, oh, this is not the kind of person I want to be with, you're already on the date, you're already there, you've already committed to having a coffee or a drink or a meal. So just be appreciative, find like the good in what you're doing, you know, find little things that you can enjoy. So that's like always a good reminder, you know. So do find things to appreciate while you're on the date. And that's also really a good reminder if you're having a great time too, you know, because then you can feed back to your
Absolutely.
date later that you had such a good time and you really appreciated this, that, and that. And it just keeps that positive vibe and that good energy. Yeah.
Yeah. It points back to
Yeah.
point one, wasn't it? Around the energy that you give off is what you're going to get back. So it is really
Mm.
important to keep that high energy and feel really positive
Yeah.
about your day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's a personal don't for me, but again, Dana, you
Hmm.
may not agree with this, so it might be a bit
That's okay. That's
controversial, but that's
okay.
what we're
That's
here
fine.
for. It's
Yeah,
fine, you
no
know.
one can agree with everything.
Absolutely. So it's absolutely fine. And I know that you're coming from a very feminine perspective. And I love femininity. I love women to sit in their femininity and for
Well, I'm
men to sit in their masculine. I love
so
it.
so excited to hear your thing now. I'm very intrigued.
But a personal one for me is not to give too much of yourself on the
Oh
first
yeah,
date.
I
Now, I
agree.
suppose you can see, okay. So I don't mind. I would always advise my clients. I don't mind if you can give someone a little peck on the cheek or a little kiss. But to me, on the first date, especially if you want it to be a long-term partnership, I too much because it gets the person you know needs to take time to know who you are, and they need to feel comfortable with who you are. And you have to also understand, especially from a woman's perspective, that you're a receiver of many things, so don't give too much of yourself on the first date. That's all I'm going to say. I won't go too far and too controversial. And I heard that you agreed,
No, well, you're
Dana.
entitled to. Well, I mean, what does that mean exactly to you? Do you mean like
So
sexually? Do you mean physically? Or do you
yeah,
mean
so
emotionally? I mean, that's quite a vague
it
statement.
is
If you could
very
kind of
it is a
clarify.
Okay, I'm going to clarify. So emotionally, I think that you
Yes.
can give some. Yeah, you can give some, and there's nothing wrong because you can go into a conversation whereby you can feel emotive, so you can feel there's emotion attached to what you're saying, and almost if you have a element of emotion to what you're saying, it gives it validity. So people will find it that that you are being open, honest, and truthful. But where I was coming from is that sexual aspect. Now, to me, it's totally
Yeah.
up to you what you want to do. It's your decision, and it's down to you and the partner and the feeling and that situation and that moment. But if you can, I would say, from my perspective, and as I said, this is a personal one, so therefore it's not necessarily a widely valid one. But I would say to not give too much of yourself on that first date.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because I'm coaching women to find lasting love and lasting commitment. And yeah, a guy wants to know that he's got something to look forward to. And also, you haven't even connected yet. And sharing your body with someone is very intimate. And you want to build a stronger foundation and stronger connection before you decide to share your energy with someone. So I fully agree with that. Um, but everyone's entitled to their
Absolutely
own
brilliant.
decision. Hmm. Yeah.
They're absolutely entitled.
So
We're not judge and jury for
yes.
people. We're just having an open discussion about some different scenarios and
Uh-huh.
opinions. Okay,
So what
so
else is on your list? You said
there's
you had a
another
few
one.
things.
I do
Mm.
have a few. I was thinking today. I was thinking, oh my gosh, what would be the do's and don'ts? Reflecting on conversations that I may have had with clients or scenarios that I've been in myself or my friends. When we're talking. So I did build a little mini list. So I hope everybody's okay with them. So I would say the next do is to do your homework on the individual. Now, I know that if you were to come to me as a matchmaker, I would do the homework, so to a certain degree, to make sure that they're right for you. So I would do all the due diligence, and you'll be at a point where you can turn up to a date knowing that at least you have something in common. So for me, if you are doing this on your own and you meet somebody, 9 times out of 10, you swapped a number. So you're going to have a conversation. So when you have this conversation with these individuals, listen. You know, a lot of people don't necessarily listen to understand. It's almost like they talk and they talk. But I would say to do your due diligence and listen to what the person is saying and learn about them and do your homework before you put yourself in a position where you're sat in front of them on that first date.
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially if you haven't really spent time with them before, or you haven't had a phone conversation before, you know. So that's a good one, and I feel like a lot of people don't always do that. So that's definitely a good one. Yeah. What else would you like to add?
Do you have anything else to add to a don't? I've got a few don'ts and another do.
Well, there's so many don'ts, you know, but yeah, like I would say definitely, like, they're quite generic and we all know them. Don't criticize the person you're on a date with, you know, don't be passive aggressive. You know, you'd be surprised at how many people, they're just naturally critical and negative, and it's just part of their communication, you know. So it's just about kind of creating that self-awareness to be more positive in your communication, especially with a stranger and you're trying to make a good impression. Yeah, so that's a don't for me. A do would be just to be warm, to be open, to be playful, not in a sexual way, but just have fun, you know, like it's a first date. It's not supposed to be super heavy and stressful and draining, you know, so just be light and fun and smile a lot if you're not sure what to say, you know, just be present and try enjoy yourself. Even if you've already decided that you don't see your future with this person, you're there, so just make the most of it and just enjoy the experience, because it's a learning experience, and yeah, learn about yourself. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that was another one of my do's, is enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment, you know. I say that to clients, especially if they're, because obviously, well, not obviously, but my clients are with me for a year, so they have a year subscription. So they may have dates earlier on in the subscription, and you know, and I tell them, just go, don't be nervous, enjoy the moment. You know, you're not going to get married to this person. I don't know if you're going to get married. They could possibly get married. They could really, you know, enjoy each other's company. I don't know, but I know that they're relatable, or they're going to relate to a certain. But just enjoy it and don't overthink things. Don't overthink too much, because overthinking does bring about nervousness, anxiousness, and all of those negative kind of connotations attached to that feeling that you can get.
Yeah, definitely. Overthinking is not good, especially even when you're in the beginning stages of dating. Like, overthinking is just going to take you totally out of your body, and it's going to disconnect you from whatever emotions that you're feeling, and your emotions are your best guide. So if you're too much up in your head, you're going to be a little bit sidetracked from how you actually feel about the person. All right, should we do one more before we close up this amazing live stream? Do you have any other ones to add, or?
I would say, I think this one's a bit of a big one for me. I would say that if you're on a date, try not to talk about your ex. Please. I know that, you know, some people can ask you about, you know, why your last relationship broke up, you know, what happened. And there's nothing wrong with saying, you know, we didn't, you know, we knew that we couldn't go on any further, or, we weren't right for one another, but don't go on about what actually happened to the point where your relationship broke down. Not on the first date. I think it's a bit too much. And I think that the prospective partner may think that you haven't got over that person as yet. And that can be a bit off-putting. What do you think?
That's a good perspective for sure. You don't want to talk about your ex or your past relationship so much that it's giving off the impression that you're still stuck in that space. So yeah. But I mean, it's always so individual, on who the person is, and so that's why coaching is always good if you're not quite sure. But yeah, if you're not sure, best to not bring it up or not spend more than a few minutes on it, so it doesn't hijack your whole evening. Definitely.
Absolutely. And
Great.
this is your first date. We're talking first date, so we're not talking second, third, or a month
Yeah,
in, where you'll
first
be,
dates.
of course
Yeah,
you can share past experiences, but on your first date, you have to keep it light when it comes to your ex-partner. Of course, if you have one.
definitely.
Now, before we
Does
close, I
anyone
wonder
watching have any?
if,
Oh,
if there's, yes,
carry
exactly what I
on.
was going to say,
Yeah.
Dana.
Uh,
If there was
does
anybody
anyone have
that
any
had any
questions?
questions for us.
Yeah. Gioma says they agree. Yay! So if anyone has
Oh,
any
they
questions for
agree. Yay.
matchmaker in London or for relationship and dating coach in South Africa, now is your chance. Otherwise, you can always message us privately after this live stream. I also
Yeah.
offer free clarity calls to anyone who might be interested in dating and relationship coaching or learning more about their feminine energy. So if you want, you can just message me to get a link for that, or you can go onto my link in bio on my Instagram and you can find all of my information there. So if anyone wants to chat to me further, that's a way to do it. Sanji, how can
That's the
people chat
same.
to you?
That's exactly the same thing. So I provide a 30-minute free consultation for anybody who may be interested. So you may be interested in matchmaking, but you might feel a bit nervous, you're worried about it, or you're just wondering about it. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is click on my bio and book some time in with me. Or you can contact me on different ranges of ways. So you can DM me, direct message me on either Facebook or Instagram, and I'm there waiting to give you or to point you in the direction of prospective love. And again, I put on singles events. My next singles event is on July the 24th in Lee in London. So if you'd like to come along, please come along, contact me. If you're nervous or feeling nervous, there's many people that come on their own, so you'll be absolutely fine, and I'll be there to welcome you. So for this event, sorry, just a little bit of a plug, I'm collaborating with a company called Sip and Paint or Sip and Art. And what we're going to do is, I always find of different ingenious ways of people interacting during these sessions, so it's not too rigid. So this one is going to be in a collaboration with Sip and Art. So I'd like to see you guys there. So yeah, welcome. Please
Amazing.
contact me if you need.
So Croydon Galaxy, what do you mean by multiple dates exactly? If you can elaborate on that, what your question is specifically, then we can get back to you. Otherwise, we're just going to sign
Yes,
off.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Sanji. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us. Again, if you want to learn how you can work with me with dating and relationship coaching, you can just message me privately, or you can go onto my link in bio and book in a free chat with me, and do exactly the same with Sanji. If you're interested in matchmaking and you live in London or the UK and you want to learn more about that, you both know how to find us. And thank you so much for joining. And the
Thank
replay will
you.
be up
Thanks,
live
Donna.
somewhere soon. Thank you so much, Sanji.